Good morning, everyone. It's me, Rory Paddock, for picks from the paddock.co.uk. I am live at 9:05. It is Tuesday, the 18th of April. We've got ITV action from Newmarket this afternoon, 4 races. If you want selections for those 4 races, however, you need to head on over to our completely free app, both for iPhone or Android, and you'll be able to see our complete free race previews and tips for all 4 of today's live ITV racing. Away from that, I've got 6 horses, all at decent prices. I'm going to be back in an each-way lucky 63, and also in trebles, 4-folds, 5-folds, and a 6-fold accumulator for them to place. So, without further ado, let's get stuck into it with my first selection. It comes over at Tipperary. I can bring that up on screen now. And it's Legume in the 205. That's the horse that I'm going to go for. See their current price of around 20 to 1. It's number 10 on the race card. And look, it's not an easy race to predict by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you've got some much more well-fancied horses in there. But if you take out the top 3 in the betting, it's time to move on. Kansas City Star and Let's Go Champ. And the race becomes ridiculous. The Open, you want a horse with race experience, which Legume has, because none of the newcomers look up to much. Legume just seems to fit the bill. 5th of 12 is a solid debut effort. Showed glimpses of promise, despite a few jumping errors. Should come on plenty for that effort. And not out of the question that he finishes in the money. Legume, 20 to 1. Cheeky little each way bet. That's my way to play in the 205 at Tipperary. Sticking with Tipperary, we're going to scroll all the way down until we get to the 350. It is a beginner's chase. See there's about 12 runners. Current short price favourite is Clifton Warrior. I think rightly so. 64 favourite for Rachel Blackmore and Henry de Bromhead. I think those two are going to have a pretty decent day. But the one that gets my vote there in the 350 is Diamond in the Mud. Finished 5th behind the current favourite last time. Current favourite was 2nd that day. And a little bit like the other race, really. It's, I have to admit, I'd be much more confident about Diamond in the Mud if this was over a longer trip. But the horse returned from a really sizable absence to put in a fair enough effort at Thurles last month. Finished 5th, should strip fitter. And although this looks a very competitive race, you wouldn't be shocked about anything winning it. I don't think you'll need to be a superstar to actually claim victory here. And I think under Sean Flanagan, Diamond in the Mud is another horse who can go well and finish in the money. Current price there for Diamond in the Mud is 22 to 1. I think that's a bit too generous, considering the horse has a really decent jockey booking as well. Sticking with Tipperary, 3 of my 6 selections today come from that venue. And we have to go to the 5 o'clock. It is another handicap chase. There you can see there are 13 runners that are set to go to post. And the one that gets my vote and gets the nod there in the 5 o'clock is Marla Appeal. Currently best price of around 15 to 2. The horse is ridiculously consistent. Rarely runs a bad race. Has finished in the top 3 in 5 of his last 6 starts. Michael O'Sullivan, who had an amazing Cheltenham Festival, he still has a claim, believe it or not, and he takes off £3. And I think another top 3 finish is something that the horse is more than capable of. Marla Appeal to go well there in the 5 o'clock. So that's Tipperary done. Where are we going to go to next? Well, I think we're going to go to Newmarket. Obviously, if you want selections for the 4 ITV races, then head on over to our app. But in what I'm hoping is going to be the lucky last, I want to go with the top weight, Burning Cash. Currently best price 14 to 1. Alvarez is the 5 to 2 favourite. You've got A Up It's Maggie there, who will love the ground, around 100 to 30. And I think it's 7 to 1 bar the remainder. 10 runners are set to go to post, but I have gone with the Paul Midgley horse. Now, word to the wise, if you're looking for a trainer to follow this year, I'm really keen on Paul Midgley's horses. He's had a couple of years in the doldrums, but because of that, he's got quite a lot of really well handicapped horses. And I think 2023 could be the return of Paul Midgley as a trainer. Not necessarily he's going to win massive Group 1 success, but I think in terms of the amount of winners that he has this year, I think he's going to be right up there. Certainly do a lot better than he has done with his horses in the last few years. So, with that in mind, I'm hoping that he can kick off his season with burning cash here. He finished third in a Group 3 on his only ever attempt at Newmarket before. That was on his only course start. Should strip fitter for his recent return at Musselburgh. I'll be honest, he'd probably want much better ground than this, but I'll take a chance on him at a decent price. 14-1, small stakes bet, burning cash to go well in the 520 at Flat HQ. Then we go back to Ireland. So that was burning cash. That was my selection there. You can see on screen for the 520 in Newmarket. But we then go from Newmarket back on over to Ireland to Goram Park. They've got a sort of late afternoon, early evening meeting. And I'm going to go with the penultimate race on the card, the 6:45. It is a 1 mile, 1.5 furlong maiden race for 3-year-olds. 15 runners are set to go to post. And I am pretty keen on Parish Star. Right near the bottom, number 14 on the race card. And I think, yeah, look, I'm all about Parish Star in this one. Based on a sole start last month, the form of that maiden looks really strong and is arguably probably the best form on offer in what looks it's a much weaker race than the one that she competed in. Top jockey, top connections, with a recent run, has a fitness edge, has racecourse experience, and looks the one to be on. I think 15-2 is way too generous about that horse. So Parish Star is the one for me there in the 6:45 at Goram Park. Now, last but by no means least, we're going to take in a bit of the all-weather. That's going to come at Southwell just 15 minutes later in the 7 o'clock contest. It's a 1 mile race, class 6 handicap for horses 0-60. 14 runners are set to go to post. You can see looking through the runners and riders there. Current market leader is, well, it's actually a really open race, let's be honest. I think is it joint? No, there we go. We've got 15-2, the current favourite, Borough back, but then he's 9-1. About 4 horses a joint second favourite. Then we've got a 10-1 shot. And then we've got Darbucks at 11s. Inexplicables 13-2. I apologise, that's the current market leader. But it's a really open race, as you can see. And the one I'm going to go with there in the 7 o'clock is Darby. Darby's the one for me, former course and distance winner. Absolutely loves it here at Southwell. His last 2 course and distance starts, he finished 2nd and 3rd. Those came off higher mark. He won't be too disadvantaged by the high draw, as he likes to come from out the back in his races. And his current price just looks really generous. I think we'll take a bit of 9-1 about Darby to go well in the 7 o'clock. So, what are my bets today? Well, my bets today, I'm going to go with those 6 horses in an each way lucky 63 for a small stake, perhaps 10p each way lucky 63, something like that, just for a bit of interest. But the one that I'd probably put more stakes on and a few more pennies would be this. I'm going to go for trebles, 4-folds, 5-folds, and the 6-fold accumulator on the Goom to finish in the top 6 at 8-11, Diamond in the Mud for a top 4 finish at 13-8, Marler Appeal for a top 6 finish at 8-13, Burning Cash for a top 4 finish at 5-4. We've then got Goram Park, and I've tapped in the wrong horse there, but the one at Goram Park is Parish Star, to finish in the top 5 at 4-7. And again, I've not typed that out either. And then the bottom is Darby in the 7 o'clock at Southwell to finish in the top 6 at 8-11. I'm going to be backing them in trebles, 4-folds, 5-folds, and the Yakka, and also the each way lucky 63. As always, any likes, comments, and shares. Thanks for watching, and fingers crossed, touch wood, and good luck if you follow.